Hi, everyone. This is Mary, your Pittsburgh artist, and today we have a special guest, Sally Brown. Sally Brown is an artist, and we're going to talk a little bit about Sally's background and all the things that she's involved in, which is quite a bit. So, Sally, if you want to introduce yourself and just give everyone an idea of your background and how you became an artist.
Sure, yeah. Thanks for having me, Mary. Do you
Sure.
hear that echo?
Okay.
I think it's good. I'm Sally Brown. I'm mostly from Omaha. I spent 20 years of my life in Omaha, Nebraska, and have always been drawing. I always draw fashions growing up, and I was a fashion major first in my undergraduate studies. I spent most of my undergrad years at University of Nebraska Lincoln, and I switched to art. I had to take a drawing class, and I just fell in love with just pure drawing. So I became a drawing illustration major. And once I graduated in 2003, I decided that there was enough artists out there. So I donated all my supplies. So
Oh,
I'm just going to work at a gallery and or a museum and do fundraising and help artists. But it came back to me. I worked for some museums and galleries, and then when I got married and had my first kid, I stayed home and started an arts column. So I kind of got back into the arts that way. I wrote a weekly column about the arts and did reviews for the local paper, and I just loved it. I had so much fun.
aw.
Yeah, and then I started art modeling for art classes, and then I was like, I kind of want to. So I went like backwards back into the arts, and I started drawing, doing self portraits and just figurative stuff, and I started independently curating exhibitions around women artists and feminism because I realized that I didn't really learn much about them in college, and
That's correct. Yes.
then I started doing that, and I started my blog with Femfole, interviewing women artists 10 years ago. And that really helped me kind of get my confidence and feel comfortable making art, kind of more provocative art while I had kids.
Mhm.
And then we moved out here from my ex-husband's job, which is Morgantown, West Virginia, in 2014. And I went back to school to get my art history degree, graduate degree. And I just focused on feminist artists, and I continued making work around feminist artists and continued independently curating exhibitions of women artists and feminist topics. And I continue to write reviews as well, mostly of work by women or women exhibitions of women. I continue my blog and I continue independently curating, and then I also work for the university here, curating for the various buildings on campus.
Oh, nice.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
So, like the curating, did you have to have some sort of a study for that, or I know this was off topic, or just to be able to do that, or it came naturally for you?
Well, I mean, my undergrad was in studio art, and then I have two graduate degrees, one in art, public administration, and then one in art history. So I think that kind of combination is a good one to have because you know, you're multiply communicating with the venue, various artists, and like you have to do everything from idea development and research to fundraising and promotion. And there's just so many things involved with curating besides getting art together that I think
Hmm.
those degrees probably really helped me with.
With that. Now, does like any of your fashion design come into any of your artwork as far as like portraiture and those kinds of things?
I mean, I do figurative work, so in that way, it does. But I
Mhm.
don't really, and I love dressing fun, but I don't design. I don't like sewing, and I didn't really like the merchandising aspect, the sales aspect. I'm more conceptual. So
Yeah.
I mean, so yes and no. It's fun to draw figures. I always like drawing figures, but I don't think about making
Dressing
things.
them up.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's I used to sew, and I used to have to sew because talk about a husband. So, and the ex-husband, anyways. So after I went to college, I said I will never touch a sewing machine again. So I didn't. I mean, I focused more on my artwork.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's hard.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
I'm the same. I just, I mean, I like clothes, but I don't want to have to sew them anymore.
No, you have to be so like on point to make it
Yeah,
look good, you know?
right, exactly, exactly. So, the art that you do is more towards feminism, more geared to the feminist, which is, I think, wonderful because, so many times women are overlooked for their artwork and their contributions. And that's what really kind of geared me to the interest for your interview. So, if you want to talk a little bit about that, do you have anything that you can show us or?
Sure. I mean, I have I'm very prolific. I make like a lot of work. I have a series of drawings called feminist tributes. So I do like a
Oh,
self
there we
portrait.
go. Oh, yes. Okay.
I'll do like
Nice.
little self portraits, and
Nice.
I'll do like this is Audrey Flack
Okay.
mini reproduction. So I have like hundreds of these drawings with various artwork by other feminist artists. So they're
Oh,
kind of each little tributes to a feminist artist, either living or in history. And
uh-huh.
so this is Judy Chicago. Um,
Oh,
so
cool.
they're kind of like exercises for me to like go back and remember this artist or learn new about this artist, as well as like when I have a show, it's like, well, people can see this is Paula Modersohn Becker, and the audience can like see it and maybe learn,
Right.
about an
Learn
artist.
from
Like
it.
want to
Yeah.
go look it up or something. That's
Nice.
Jenny Fulzer. So, and then I have a series of body prints too that I will quote the feminist artists. I'll put like a quote by them in it. Start of one.
Oh, it's that nice. I love it. Very nice. Yeah.
Various colors and stuff. There's a red kind of orangish side one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's neat. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I like those colors too. Your color choices are great. They're
Thanks.
all
Yeah,
my favorites.
it's really fun.
Oh, oh, yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, so various series, various colors, and various feminist artists. But yeah, I'll quote like either like a title or something they wrote, and so it kind of helps me like remember them and what they did. And then, like I said, it's also like part of the experience of seeing my work in a show. Is like, oh wow, cool. Like I didn't know this artist. I'll go look her up or something.
Right, right. That's interesting. Yeah, I think that's wonderful. Well, the first time I ever experienced women artists was when I was in college too, because, well,
Mhm.
they were the Impressionists, and I thought, wow, and like Mary Cassatt, I just loved her work, and I thought, wow, not that she was a feminist, but she probably was because she was different. She
Mhm.
wasn't like in the mainstream of men. So, although she hung out with some of those guys, but yeah, I mean, it's just it's sad how women get overlooked for so many things. It's just I get so
No,
upset about that.
it's
Yeah,
incredible. Yeah, the
yeah.
amount of like the work that I'm doing, like my body print work, like I was inspired. I saw Yves Klein, who was a male. I don't know if you're familiar with his work, mid
Yeah.
20th century, and he directed women. He wore a big suit and he like directed these nude models, body painted them, um,
Yeah.
and so it was him clothed directing nude women. And I love the work, but it's not feminist at all. So I was like, I have to do this, and I'm going to be the model and the artist and the director, and it's going to be for women artists. And it's fun. I really love it. But there's other Carolee Schneemann, women artists have done this. Like I
Right.
just didn't know that because they're not in front of my face like the male artist doing it. So
Yeah. I wonder why that happens. You just wonder. I mean, all along, even when I worked in the business world, it was all the men. It's just all the men and women. Like they can be so smart and talented, and they crush it. They'll just
mhm.
crush it. It's just not. I don't know. So, well, let's get on because I could go on about, I could protest all the time about things. But
Right.
so where do you get your inspiration from? It's just from these different artists that you like.
Yeah, and I'm a mom. My kids are 12 and 14 now, and living with them and their stories. I also have a motherhood series that I do with like some of their work, some of their artwork. I'll do like little collaborations or I'll use some of their homework for like a background or collage or something. Just because they have so much work, and I keep all of the good stuff or give it to, grandparents, whatever. But then I'm like, oh, this could make like a cool canvas.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's so different now, from even when my kids went to school, because my kids kind of started out in the Catholic school, so they didn't have much of that. But my grandkids, they have a fantastic art teacher,
Good.
and they have come up with so many interesting things that are just so inspiring. I never had that growing up,
I
you
didn't.
know. And I
Yeah.
wasn't the lucky one that got to go to the Carnegie Museum for the Arts on Saturday because I wasn't chosen. I mean, everybody overlooked my talent, even at a young age, you would think, but yeah. So, I mean, I had to like basically self-learn, and I don't know if you did as a younger person, like self-taught yourself, but I think you just got more inspired after you went to school. Is that
Yeah.
right?
I,
After you
yeah, definitely. I wasn't really confident. We had a pretty good art program where I went to school in Omaha, Nebraska. But nothing like today. And yeah, I wasn't very confident. I thought my older brother was a better artist than me. And
Aw.
but then you learn, and you know how everyone always, I can't even draw a stick figure. Well, that's not the point. So you
Yeah.
kind of go to art school to like unlearn that, you know what I mean? And just
Right,
like
right.
express yourself. And I'm way more into like expression than I am realism. And
Hmm.
so, but yeah, I think I got most inspired when I went to school and started studying and like seeing the artists. I think art inspires me, art and travel.
Yes,
So,
yes. I have that too, like where I feel more inspired by someone, excuse me, and it just, it changes your life. It's just, I think, well, my husband plays music, so when he's doing that, if somebody's here rehearsing or whatever, I get really excited and I want to paint. Yeah,
yeah.
you just want to paint because you have that, and I think if schools take that away, it'll be a shame.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
I hate when
so
I hear that art is cut. Ugh, it's horrifying.
yeah.
It should be a
Yeah.
requirement.
Yeah, it's a shame, it's sad. So what techniques and resources have you used for your last few pieces? I see, you've been inspired by some artists, so
Yeah. So
uh,
maybe if I'm at a gallery or museum and I see this work and I love it, or maybe I'm reading like art news online and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. What is this? And then I'll look out more about the artist. And yeah, I'll just look at like an artwork. And then I also pick, so I have thousands of self portraits, and I also work with photographers. I'll do modeling for them
mhm,
for pictures. And so I pick out a photo, and then I pick out like an artwork that either conceptually or aesthetically, I think, goes along with it. And like I'll put them together. It's
mhm.
pretty, I don't use Illustrator or design for
Okay.
my personal. I'm a big pencil to paper type person, like this one, like the roundness,
Okay.
round.
Yes.
Yeah. So just kind of fun, not super
Yeah.
technical. You know, I'm a
That's
mom.
Yeah, well, that's how I started even doing a couple books for my daughter because she writes, and I started drawing them and painting them. Which, whenever you put it to print, it was terrible. So I had to go into like iPad, which made it a little clearer, but it's harder for me because I'm used to doing paint.
Right.
So I mean, I think, and then when I went and took a drawing class, and I was able, that really helped me a lot because you start to learn, your lights and your darks, and it really makes a big difference in your paintings too. So, well, now how do you overcome a creative block?
I don't really. I was thinking about that. I'm like, I don't really overcome it. Like, if I don't feel like drawing or painting for a few weeks, if I don't feel like drawing I don't care.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
try not to be hard on myself. When my kids were smaller, I would feel really bad, and sometimes I'd be like, okay, I'll just draw one line, and then I'll be like, okay, well, I drew one line. That's fine. That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
I know I'll get inspired, and if I don't like anything I'm creating, I can stop and I'll come back. I have more work than I can even handle. So,
Yeah.
make
Well, at
stuff.
least it's on paper. I mean,
Yeah,
it's on paper. Like mine is on canvas, so I'm like, really?
that's full. I have a few canvas works. Yeah, they're in the garage.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
really hard to store those things, you
Yeah.
know. So, well, then I wanted to ask you now, you said, I know that I didn't have this on any other questions, but you said you did something in Pittsburgh at one point.
Yeah. I had, and I will have my show. It's the Manos Gallery. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a little bit north of Pittsburgh and
Okay.
uh, Manos, the Manos Gallery. I had work in there in February and May, and I'll have it again in October for a breast cancer awareness
Oh, nice.
exhibition. Yeah, so I'm really excited. And then I have a solo show at Runnymede Botanical Gardens, which is also north of Pittsburgh, in September. And I'm going to do all botanical inspired drawings and paintings for that, since
Okay.
it's a botanical garden.
Well,
So,
that's really wonderful. Yeah, those are galleries I don't know or heard of. I mean, basically, because if it's in the north, I'm in the south.
uh,
So yeah, so that like probably towards Cranberry and Wexford and all that. It's probably
yeah,
up that way.
yeah.
So
What
yeah,
area were you in?
pardon me. What area? It's called West Mifflin. So it's near Century 3 Mall. That used to be Century 3 Mall, but where the mall, when we moved here, I was so excited, that the mall was like 2 minutes away. I thought,
Yeah.
oh, this is great. And now it's just an empty building. It's
Yeah,
terrible.
ours is becoming that way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, but well, it was really nice speaking with you
Me
today. I
too.
really enjoyed it. You have a
Thank you.
lot of great things going on there, and I'm so glad that you're focusing towards women and feminism. That
Thank,
brings that to the forefront. We need that.
thank you so much. It was really fun. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome. Well, I guess we're going to close for now, and it was a pleasure, like I said, and this we'll see this on Saturday.
Okay, cool.
Okay, all right, all right. Bye, everybody.